And I do think that I believe more now than I ever have that I'm going to be world's strongest man one day.
One of the toughest strongmen in history, right here. It's not a beauty contest. This is Strongman. Have to be alive. If you can't do that, then on the way we go.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Giants Live podcast. As always, joined by Mr. Darren Sadler, and we are lucky to be joined by the Future. Is that still your nickname?
I don't care anymore.
How long's that going to go on for?
Yeah.
Hopefully
Can't be
not
the
much
Future.
longer. I can't be bothered with it anymore. I need a rebrand.
I think we can comment on this to say, look, let's have a new name for him because this is getting silly.
Do you know
now.
what I was thinking? I was thinking Lionheart. I think that's quite cool. No, you don't think that's cool. You've just...
I think picking your own name is pretty bad.
Yeah, you can't do
and you've
that.
got to let other people pick it.
No, because people will be nasty. Because Richardson is son of Richard the Lionheart. That's where my last name comes from.
Why don't people comment and see what? But I think we're going to have some interesting ones.
Right, okay.
What? There must be something that's like been put back together a million times, like keeps getting broken.
Maybe like Zombie.
Yeah.
'Cause you just
Humpty Dumpty.
You can't kill me. Yeah.
Humpty Dumpty, yeah. I like that one. Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Luke Richardson we're joined by. Yeah. So obviously there's been a lot of going on in the strongman scene this last week or so. We've had some changes to the lineup for Glasgow.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just to quickly run through it. Obviously, Tom was coming just to do a max log, which was great. We really want Tom there in Glasgow. Tom's now decided he's doing a full show, which is really positive. So he's obviously feeling a lot better. So that's great, especially with the Scottish crowd. Unfortunately, Luke's injured his bicep, Luke Stoltman.
you say bicep and Luke, you just automatically think it's him, don't you?
Everyone. We say injury bicep Luke. It's like
it's fair enough.
if you put that into Google, it probably come up with his name.
Yeah, it literally does,
Yeah. So in the background, Luke Richardson has been the Lionheart. Richardson has been
Humpty Dumpty.
sort of has been saying, "Oh, I'm in good nick," and which I mean, training's been great to be fair, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I'm about 5 months post-op now from obviously the distal bicep tear I had at World's Strongest Man. And unfortunately, I'm very good at rehabbing tendon injuries now.
You had some experience.
Yeah, I've had 6, haven't I? So I'm pretty good. So it's just one of them things. I have markers for, like, when you think of it logically, a tendon is as healed into the bone as it's going to be, like, after like 3 to 4 months. And then it's just like exposure to load. And it's like I'm lifting the weights that I was lifting post Glasgow last year, where I did the full show safely in the gym now. So it's like, well, it's as healed into the bone as it's going to be. It's not weak to the point that it's going to be exposed. So I'll give it a go. So obviously, I've been speaking to you, I've been speaking to Terry, and it's like, you know, if I could go down to the gym and, you know, pick a 140 bag and lift a 180 stone, like, would I be all right to jump in? So I went down and I literally feel as strong as I felt pre-World Strongest Man.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it's one of them things, like, people are going to have expectations, or I've had it every time I've been injured, to be honest. It doesn't bother me anymore. It used to bother me, you know, people saying he's done, he's retired, he's this and that, but like, I'm not though, am I? Like, I'm Europe's strongest man still, and I think with the shape I'm in now, I can make an honest and accurate assessment that I wouldn't be surprised if I won this comp.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Positive. I mean, obviously it's been how many months then since the bicep? 5 months, right? Okay. So I mean, obviously the thing is, when you look at these things, most people that tear the bicep or do a tendon or whatever, the NHS will say, right, that's going to take 6 to 8 months. It's a bit different when you're taking all the supplementation and eating all that food and knowing the rehab.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really need to go to a physio anymore, probably. You know exactly what to do.
No, that's a bit like, I've got thousands of pounds of physio equipment, which obviously, you know, increases your ability to recover quicker. And then even you think of like silly things like, how much protein do you eat a day as a pro strongman? Like, my average is probably like 350 grams. I'd be surprised if a normal person eats like 50 grams of protein a day. Do you know, if they skip breakfast, have a ham sandwich for lunch and then a chicken breast for dinner. So it's like I'm eating 7 times the amount of protein that someone else eats.
Yeah.
7 times a week. So I'm having 49 times more protein than someone else a week. It's like,
obviously blood flow helps healing as well, and you're training every day.
Yeah.
Even when you're not weight training, you're still training every day doing something, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. And you're working with physios. It's like, I know exactly what exercise I need to be doing at what stage. I've got markers for what's like a safe time to progress to like an exercise variation that's a little bit more, you know, risky because of how it feels. And Yeah, I think, to be honest, like, it's a fairly reasonable, thing to think it's a little bit too soon. Like, that's completely reasonable. But I think sometimes when you know,
Yeah.
like, no one can tell me how.
I mean,
my
the other
life
thing I
feels,
was thinking last night was actually, because obviously when you said you want to do it, I'm like, right, are you sure this is right? Nobody wants to see you get injured. No one wants to see anyone get injured.
Yeah.
I think across the board, I don't want to speak too soon, like, we do have quite a low injury rate. I don't try and, I don't put tire flip in anymore and things like that. If it's axle, you know what I mean, like, not too often and things like that. There's certain events that are more, hamstringy and bicepy. I don't think this show is. I think it's quite a safe show.
Yeah.
No, when I was speaking to both of you, it was like, if this show was a little bit, I'd say a little bit more risky in terms of the events. This seems like quite a safe show to me in terms of the events. I'd have probably not even considered it a possibility that I could even give the events a go. Whereas the fact that it's not that intimidating has probably inspired me to be like, oh, well, maybe I could actually.
Yeah.
And it turns out I'm fine. And it's like, well, I'm not just fine. I'm like strong as hell.
Well, we saw a couple of your training videos last week, didn't we? Was it last week? You did the 180 strict press on the log.
Yeah.
And the squat was, that was ridiculous.
290 for 10.
290 for 10 with a safety bar, which obviously is a bit tougher than a regular squat. We can see you're strong as hell. It's just, as long as you're recovered, you're good to go. And then when you did sort of speak to Darren about doing it, and you just went and tested a couple of the events, didn't you? You picked a sandbag up, picked a stone up.
Yeah, I went down and I was like, right, well, if I can do like a 120 sandbag, and because this is the thing, it's a really weird thing to try and describe to like people who've not been as injured as I have been. Like, I literally don't care. You subscribe to a way of thinking that is just like, well, in my opinion, if I'm going to be scared lifting a 200 kilo stone, then I need to like retire.
Yeah, well, it's an occupational hazard, isn't it?
Of course. So it's like, and then me being scared of lifting 200 kilos doesn't make it any lighter.
No.
It's
so why be scared?
When you first injure yourself, remember when I tore my bicep, I remember thinking, well, stones are always going to be different now. Like, I remember thinking, well, it's always going to be strange now because I'm always going to be worried about my biceps. And then you just start training again and you're not. You just do something, you go, oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
But for most people, when they get injured, like, well, I'm never doing that again. It's a natural thing to do, isn't it? To say, well, that thing that hurts me, we won't do that again. But once you start again, something just clicks in your mind after a couple of workouts. You're like, actually, it's okay. And like you said, you can speak to any doctor, anyone you want. You've got to self-assess, haven't you?
Yeah, well, it's probably like a healthy amount of pattern recognition for normal people to be like, I did this and it hurt me, I should probably not do it again.
Yeah, sensible people.
Yeah, but like anyone who does strongman doesn't, I'm not a normal person, you know what I mean? I'm a weirdo, I'm insane. But that's what I mean, it's like...
You are very weird.
Yeah,
actually,
but I don't see the point. Like, I think it's a bit of a shame. Even when you see strongmen who've been injured and then they come back and they compete scared, but like you can tell that they don't enjoy competing for the sake of competing. They enjoy competing to win. But you're never going to win if you're scared.
No.
So, like I say, it's just a mental model that I've constructed in my mind where it's like, if I'm going to do this, I am not allowed to feel fear. Like, it doesn't come in my brain. Like, I watched a video Loz did yesterday where he said, oh, that'll be in the back of his mind. And like, that's fine. Like, it's fine for him to think that it is. It's not.
No.
Like,
I literally
don't care. Like, if it snaps off, okay.
Yeah, just
like,
back to your drawing board.
Do you not think, though, now, and obviously everyone hopes you don't get injured, if you do get injured, do you think you take it more in your stride now? Because you're like, well...
I think it depends on the context, because, like, obviously I had a real bad string of injuries where I never really actually came back. So it was kind of like my overall experience of life I describe as like a 1 to 2 out of 10. Like, generally speaking, like, that's how much I enjoyed life. So when I got injured again, I went from like a 2 out of 10 back to like a 1 out of 10. And maybe sometimes, like after England's, maybe I got up to like a 4. I was like, oh, life's like 4 out of 10 now. And then I went back to 1. Whereas I think the reason that this one was so hard mentally is because I won Europe. So I had the 2 podiums last year. I was like, right, I'm back. I'm the man. I'm Europe's strongest man. I went from a 10 back to 1. And it was like, it's like the, it was like the flip-flop between like possibly the greatest achievement of my life, winning Europe's strongest man after 5 surgeries. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that.
You would have been in the mix at World's Strongest Man as well, for sure.
I think so,
definitely. Definitely.
So I think it was more the contrast between the high and then the low. But I think one thing that I've shown, at least after all the injuries, is that like like, not to become too like abstract, but like there's almost like equal and opposite things. So it's like if you throw a bouncy ball at the floor like really softly, it doesn't bounce that high. Whereas if you hit the floor hard, you can rebound pretty high. Do you know what I mean? And I think that every single time something like this has happened to me, it's almost been more activation energy to get me to the next level. I know it sounds really like cliche and ironic.
We spoke a bit about it the other day, didn't we? When I tore my bicep, when I did my first one, I was in great shape that year and everything, but it made me more motivated. Yeah. And then I came back the following year and had my best year ever and got a third at World's Strongest Man. It was almost like, I think partly because of he's got a serious injury. It's like, I'm going to show you that this is not serious and I can deal with this. I can
tell you
take
what
it
doesn't get spoken about a lot, right? Is the amount of injuries Big Z had.
Yeah, Jesus
right?
Christ.
And still, and that. So in, I think it was you can correct me on this, but I think it was 2001 at World's Strongest Man. He tore both his patellas off on the Cordon's wheel. I think that's right. And, he told me he was in a wheelchair for like 6 months because obviously he couldn't walk at all. So both your patellas off, like you're learning how to walk again, aren't you, basically?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's serious.
Yeah.
Now, his achievements, I'm not saying he was rubbish before then, he was good, but everything was after then.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people would be like, that is about the worst possible injury. Like, it's like you're wheelchair bound.
Yeah.
And he came back, and there's an argument to say he became the greatest ever. So I look at someone like yourself, I think, well, why couldn't you? You're still young. He did it when he was young. I don't know how old was Big Z in 2001. Probably similar age to you.
Probably 20s,
22.
And people, Luke can't do this, can't do that, keeps getting injured. But now they say Big Z is the greatest ever, and he was far worse than you with injuries at that particular time.
It's funny you actually say that because it brings up like quite a thing that I've reflected on over, because I'm kind of known as just like the guy who gets injured. And part of me would like to change that narrative by the time that I'm done in the sport, where it's like weird. I have like the weirdest reputation for someone who's actually, and I don't usually give myself props. Like I don't, do I? Like you all know me pretty well.
Well, you hate yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you hate you as well.
Yeah, but my point is that like, it's quite bizarre that I'm known as the guy who gets injured all the time. Like, Luke Richardson, he's the guy that's like, he's always injured, isn't he? I've won Europes twice.
Yeah, you want to be known as that.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, what do I have to do to change the narrative? And I'm like, maybe I do need like a clean run where it's like I go from being the injured guy to being, he's world's strongest man.
I think you're wrong. I'll tell you why. So there's two different narratives. One is online idiot narrative. The other one is like, we know that if you go to, like everyone's going, like I can't see you off that podium next weekend. Like that's so. But then you get these idiots like, he's going to get injured again. Well, half of those commenting, I guarantee that no pro strongmen are saying that because they'll look and go, shit, like I know what he's been through.
Yeah.
We've all torn biceps.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Things like that, and we know the road back, and we know it's like you're up there. Like I tore mine at World's Strongest Man,
2010.
You were at Europe, were you? When you tore yours?
Yeah, 2010.
So you're on that absolute high, and you're there, and everyone's the film cameras are going, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's like you go for a 10 and you're this alpha male, world's strongest, and then all of a sudden it's like, I feel weak as hell and I've got to go home.
Yeah.
So you've had that more than any of us, but the point is, there's no way I would write a shitty comment saying, he'll probably get injured. Like, you've got to be a bit of a dick to do that.
I think this is the thing. I think that I'm quite a unique case in some way because I think I'm quite a... And maybe this is giving myself too much credit. I'm not sure. I think I'm quite a brutal inflection point for some people because I remind them of all the times that they gave up and they didn't believe that they could do so. Like
it makes them look at themselves and go, "Luke's still doing this. I gave up."
I think I hold the mirror up to some people.
Yeah, maybe.
And don't get me wrong, if you held the mirror up to someone who was like, "No, I quit and it was the right thing to do," then they'd have no reason to feel bitter.
Yeah.
Whereas someone who had a little bit of doubt. And then gave up.
Let's put it this way, right?
Yeah.
If you got your heat for World's Strongest Man, and we've all sat there waiting for our heat, haven't we? Who's going to be in our heat? It's a big thing, isn't it? And if any one of us got you in our heat, you'd be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality, not what these idiots say. The reality of it is, it's like, people know you can do damage.
Yeah.
I don't mean tearing yourself. I want about actual lifting weights.
Personally. Yeah.
So that's what it is. And also, next weekend in Glasgow, people are going... The other people are like, Luke's in. No one who thought they might be able to win it has gone, brilliant, Luke's in. They've gone, Luke's in. Do you know what I mean?
And this is the thing, it's I actually feel it's a strange this time. I feel different. Like, I don't know if it's because I was probably the lowest I've ever been in my whole life. It was weird. There's been times during the last 5 years where I'm like, oh, well, it can't get worse than this, can it? And then this time it was just like horrendous. And I almost feel like I've looked down the barrel and I feel liberated by the fact that, like, I kind of feel like on borrowed time now.
Yeah.
I feel like a man living on borrowed time and I've got nothing to lose. Like, I literally do not care.
I mean,
like,
I remember at World's Strongest Man, straight after you did it this year,
Yeah.
we were all sat there talking to you, weren't we? You looked pretty dark at that moment, and I was actually like a little bit concerned, and I'm sure Darren was as well, but the way you've bounced back from it this time has been, you know, you had a couple of down weeks, didn't you? But then I had
a couple of down months, to be fair, because I tore it in May, I had the surgery in June. Till July it was bad, but then it just gets to a point where you just sit there, I'm sick of myself. I'm sick of it. Because obviously the same voice that compels me to become the person that I've become and do the things that I've done is the same one that eats away at you when you, like, what makes you can break you. Yeah. And I think the same thing that makes me who I am can also completely destroy me. And when you're someone with the personality type of any of us lot, it's like, I do one thing and I do it with everything I've got. And
I think
you take that away.
All it is, it's simple. And I think whether it's in business or family or strongman or whatever, it's just having high expectations.
Yeah.
You see yourself as Europe's strongest man, which you are, and you see yourself as a world's strongest man finalist, which you are, but you've got these little bridges to overcome. But end of the day, the reality of it is, if you can hold it together, you can do those things, and you're only young. Yeah,
and it's like, it was actually, I was speaking to Evans about it, actually, like watching Rain O'Neill win World's Strongest Man this year, despite the fact that when I watched him win, my bicep was half hanging off. It like inspired me because it was weird. I feel like we've been stuck in like this phase of strongman at the minute, where it's like, well, if it's not Mitch, it's Tom. If it's not Tom, it's Mitch. And then Reno coming in, it was almost like,
yeah, but Mitch did the same. I know Mitch didn't win, but like in the last few years, like the list of world's strongest man when Mitch came, there was 30 people. Generally, Mitch was like number 34 or something. People dropped out for Mitch to get in. Then Mitch won his heat.
Yeah.
Right, and then Nell. It was like he hasn't done a Giants Live. He's won Champions League. He's doing really well. He's got the stats are there, and we were like, we really need to invite this guy. He was going to go to OSG, but he had some problems, so he couldn't get there. He's tried to go in the system. We thought, right, we'll invite him, and he was a wild card, and he wins it. So it just shows it could happen again. You know what I mean? Like look at Bryce Johnson. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one knew who he was 2 years ago. Now it's like, you don't want that guy in your heat either. Because if he improves another 10%, people are in big trouble.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, when I saw Reno win it at Worlds, despite the fact that I was in my little lull, and then I had a few months where it was really bad and I came out with it, it's almost made me like, do you know what? Like, there's been, when I look at it objectively, there's been times in my career when I'm not hurt. It's like, well, if I had my deadlift from then, and my press from then, and my moving from then, my loading from then, and my stones from then, I win Worlds.
I have no doubt.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm like, right, I don't believe it's completely out the realm of possibility that I can line all them things up at the same time.
No, I don't.
So,
but with anybody though, injury or not, right? There's a bit of luck involved in it.
Yeah,
because you can go right. There's the best Luke Richardson ever, but then the best Hooper turns up, or the best Tom Stoltman turns up, or the best Nell turns up, and the events suit them a little bit better than you. There is all these things, isn't there? But end of the day, you are in the conversation, and that's you. What I'm saying is, there's people that aren't in the conversation that have won it. That's what you're getting to. Like Nell wasn't in. Like Nell win World's Strongest Man. Like you'd have put a lot of money against it, but he did.
But that's it. It was genuinely like inspiring. Like as someone like it gave you that belief of, do you know what? Maybe you don't need to be like this well-established like previous winner. Maybe you can come in and just believe that you can do it and do it. And it's like like fucking bang on, fair play to it, lad. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to try and replicate that, and I do think that I believe more now than I ever have that I'm going to be world's strongest man one day. And
he almost broke that cycle, didn't he? And broke that sort of that vision of like strongman. It's like it's Tom or Mitch, and he's completely broke that. He just come straight in and done it because he didn't have the fear of them like some of the other guys do. I don't know, but
well, I thought
he's a great athlete as well.
Novikov won it. I looked at the events and I thought, well, it's not fantastic. You know what I mean? What's he weigh? 125 kilos or something, Novikov. And you just don't see him. That year there was all the big boys there. There was Thor and I think Eddie had gone then, but
Brian.
Brian, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't. I'm not saying he was totally out of the conversation, but he wasn't the man who you thought was going to be on the podium.
Well, that was like his first comp before like the winning streak of Alexei from like 2020 to 2021, 22, wasn't it? Like, but that was his mark in the sand, wasn't it? But yeah, like I say, it's I'm excited to be back. Maybe I'll get hurt, maybe I'll win. I've never not podiumed at an International Giants Live that I've done.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, you've certainly got all the tools.
Yeah.
Whether it's this weekend, moving forwards into Europe, Strongest Man, World Strongest Man, you've got all the tools to win any show you're in.
I think you might get a bit of criticism, but my reply to that would be, it's your risk and your choice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever there's a decision to make. Are you going to compete or not? I know the answer is always yes for you because you train so hard, and that's all you live for. But the point is, people that would criticise just don't understand the situation. I understand it, you understand it, and there's a lot of strongmen out there that would understand it. But someone going, why would you do that? I think they probably haven't been in that situation. That's
because it's what we do.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Next Saturday, Glasgow, in it. It's a good lineup, and if I can podium it, my goal's to win. I say podium, like my goal's to win, because what I've done in training is indicative of a winning performance potentially. But if I don't podium, something's gone really wrong, and then it's like, well, then I've done a comp 5 months post-op, and then I get ready for Brits, and that's obviously where, it's like a Royal Rumble, isn't it? Brits, everyone wants to win that. Europe's, I've won that.
Brits is going to be, Brits and Europe's will be mental.
Yeah, I want to retain that again, and then go into Worlds. And
you imagine we get all the athletes turn up to Brits fully fit and healthy. Jesus Christ, it's going to be a hell of a battle.
Well, everyone's saying they're doing it, and I mean, this show really, like, the lineup it's ended up with is actually really exciting.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well. I think a lot of people are looking this lineup as a bit funny lineup, funny events. I've heard people saying, but people grossly underestimate the ability of these OSG people. Yeah, I was an OSG person.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, just because you haven't seen them yet,
oh no, they're good.
Doesn't mean they're not good. Do you know what I mean? Because actually, if we go off previous data, every guy who's gone to Worlds from OSG has been a finalist pretty much the first year. Yeah, well, the first year, I'm sure. I did it, made final first year. Pablo Cordiaca did it, made final first year.
Schoonwinkle, Matt Ragg.
Yeah, like so.
Evan, Singleton, Trey Mitchell. Like, Cordiaca. Just,
yeah.
I mean, in the early days, actually, as a lighter weight, I think Novikov came through the official strongman routes. I think he did the Europeans.
Well, we spoke. I think it was yesterday. We actually said this, didn't we? I mean, if you took all the best guys at all the guys at World's Strongest Man, 25 or 30 of them, whatever they choose to do, if you stuck some of those guys in OSG, they wouldn't win it. It's that tough. The guys are seriously good.
Yeah, so I don't underestimate anyone. I think the best thing that you can do to be confident, I think a lot of people fake confidence by minimising the abilities of the people that they have to compete against, because it gives them this fake sense of security. Whereas I think if you can say, he's really good at this and he's going to do that, so I need to do this, the more realistic you are, the more confident you can be. Because if you can give people props, you can also give them, they might not do so well there. So I think this will be an interesting show. I imagine Ondra's going to do very well. Obviously, Tom's coming off his bicep tear at Smo. I don't have any clue what shape he's going to be in, but he's Tom, so he's going to be good.
Well, and he'll be getting ready for Rogue as well. So he's doing this. He's getting ready for Rogue. He's being pretty decent shape at least.
Yeah. Well, he's Tom. So, it'd be interesting. And then obviously we've got like all the other lads doing as well. Evans over, he looks good. So I'm excited to get stuck back in. Yeah, it'll be good.
We've been sending a few questions,
right?
Which always makes me a bit nervous.
Hopefully, George's done a whatchamacallit.
Right, question 1. What is Luke's goal on the log?
Well, I think after yesterday, I did like the easiest 180 I've ever done in my whole life.
It was impressive, very impressive.
Yeah, like I literally couldn't feel.
I think you're definitely going to do 200.
Yeah, I think if I did 200, I'd be happy. But I honestly wouldn't put 210 out of like the realms of possibility.
I agree.
After I felt yesterday.
Well, without sort of going too much into it, I think that your 180 was easier than the other guys' lighter lifts that they did, and they're expecting to get 20, 30 kilos more than they did.
I think that 190 could be enough in this show to get you good enough points.
I agree.
I anticipate that in the full show, Ondra is going to win the log in terms of like winning for max points. The Ukrainian fair Pipliak, I think he could do a 210, honestly. His log's very strong. He'd be 200 to 210. And then
Tom, if he's in shape.
Tom, yeah.
Tom got 210 last time, I think, wasn't
he? Yeah, so if I can do 200, I think with the events that are to come, I'd be thinking right, I can win this. You know what I mean?
So next question, bit of a weird one. Does it help being so close to Darren and Giants for motivation to build up to the show?
I mean, I come to Giants. Everyone thinks I come to Giants and get like golden boy treatment.
You just get abused.
I literally just get slagged off the entire time I'm here.
Yeah, like about your smelly neoprenes and
just anything.
Listen, thank God you guys can't smell it. Terry, he stinks, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
So, and he says, I don't. And it's like, you can't just say you don't, you do, you stink.
I think it's one of them things where, like, do you know when I come down here, like, everyone likes me so much, they're really nasty to me.
We'll level you. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you get some people online are telling you how great you are, and
does that happen?
Yeah, well, to be fair, no. No, actually, I think you're one of the only ones that doesn't get that treatment. That people are almost, he's always injured. They never talk about how good you are, like you spoke
people
about.
do, to be fair. I need to give them credit.
I think if he podiums, I think Giants Life should buy him a washing machine and a bar of soap.
Yeah. I always go back to, I remember training up at your gym years ago, and I always post it like every now and then of me and you. You know, like I'm deadlifting and you're in the background. I think you must have been about 17 at the time.
Yeah.
I still see Luke as like this 17-year-old lad that used to train at Darren's gym, even now. So
I still feel 17 in my brain.
Is there anything different you're doing after recent surgery to try and stop the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't think that my injuries were induced by poor decision making.
No.
Because I like to think that I know what I'm doing. I think the only thing that I've done now is that literally, like, I don't train on a set training split. So some people will be like, I train every Monday, Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, for example. I don't have a training split that syncs up with the week. I train when I feel ready to train. So obviously that has naturally reduced training frequency down to some days if I don't feel good to go to the gym because nothing's ever really sore. But, you know, you're just like, that feels a bit, I could leave it an extra day. Maybe some days I only train 2-3 times a week. But I think, I was speaking to you about this yesterday, sometimes you're better showing up to a show not as absolutely strong, but healthy and fit and ready to give 100%. Because if you show up to a show 10% stronger, but you're like 20% more injured, well, then that's a net negative. Whereas if you show up like strong but fit and ready to go, then usually on comp day you always pull it out anyway.
I'm assuming you're just rested now anyway.
Yeah, I'm just chilling. Yeah, I'm just chilling. I've done a couple of sessions. There's nothing else that I need to do before the show. No. So I just chill.
What do you think Thor could deadlift if he focused on it for the entire year? No other comps.
Well, I think in Birmingham he could have pulled 530.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. You see, he said he thinks he can pull 550, and a couple of people went, "Oh no way!" But end of the day's program was for 510, and it was easy.
It was very
That's true,
easy.
actually. Yeah.
You know, so what if his program was for 550?
The only thing that I think is that how obviously muscle moves weight. How much more muscle? Like Thor is very, very close, I imagine, to his genetic capacity to hold muscle at 205 to 210 kilos. How much more muscle does he need to gain to be able to have the strength to deadlift another 20 kilos? Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Because
so we're all agreed that he could probably have done 20 more on the night.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it's because I'd usually be more on the side of like, it was so easy for him. It was actually the thing that surprised me most was just like, I expected him to do it. Like,
I did as well.
I was like, he's definitely going to do it. But the way he pulled it, I was like...
Well,
I think I'd like to see him do like, I don't know, I think if he went, right, I'm going to go for 550, I think it might be a bit risky. I'd probably like to see him say, right, I'm going to do, 525, 530 and put it up there, and then... Do you know what I mean?
The trouble is, if he actually did, say, let's say he worked for a whole nother year to get to the most he could possibly get to. Let's just say he can get 540. How long is it going to take for anyone else to even get there?
I don't think there's a person born yet.
No.
Literally don't think there is. No. Like that's not a once in a generation kind of lift. That's like
multiple generations.
Yeah. Because like 540, like because Eddie's 500 was such like
but then
historic.
We've said it again about 500 though, mate. To be fair,
yeah, true.
Like you got to remember, Eddie knocked it up 40 kilos nearly.
Yeah.
So if
then imagine Thor did the same thing.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But when he did that, we're like, well, no one's going to beat that. No one was anywhere near. So it's only the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just your perception of it.
But the heavier it gets, the harder it is to do that.
Oh, definitely.
Isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, every 10% is a harder 10%.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think I think he could just go so far beyond what anyone else can at the minute. But I think next year we could see a couple of guys do 500 with 4 tipping everyone at 530, 540.
I think that you could see 3 people do 500,
which is mental, isn't it?
I think Mitch can do 500 if he focuses, and I think
Raul
Flores.
Yeah,
but it's like so crazy, isn't it? Do you know? Because like as people who've done strong stuff, like and been strong, do you know when I can't even. Do you know you can usually have some sort of like comprehension of the feat of strength that is happening in front of you. Even 500, like that was like beyond the realms of my comprehension. But then, like Thor could have deadlifted 530 in Birmingham. Well, like you said, if he trains for a full year, he doesn't have to peak 6 weeks before he does that one, and he can just run in for a full year. Like he could probably could deadlift 540, 550.
And you got to remember, he did a show like what was it, 3 or 4 weeks before?
Yeah.
You know,
so it's like if he did
Iceland Strongest Man, didn't he?
He did Iceland Strongest Man, and he did the Eisenhart thing.
Yeah.
Like, if he just maybe 550 is possible, but it's like so beyond the realm of my comprehension of.
Let's not forget he also prepped for the rest of Birmingham.
Yeah,
and then won the show. I mean, you can only praise that was a once in a lifetime performance.
Even the die-hard Eddie fans still have to give him some credit for that one. They won't, but I think internally they will. They might not publicly, but you have to. I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah, I don't think the die-hard Thor fans would never give any.
I think that old argument's just got to stop, you know, because it's like there's 2 people that have pulled 500 and over. It's like there's 2 of them.
Yeah,
just that's brilliant, and that's it. I remember, you know, he used to brag about being able to pull 400 kilos. You don't even do it anymore. We don't even talk about that anymore now. You know what I mean? It's like now it's the opening weight.
Yeah,
and everyone speed reps it.
It's in a good place, isn't it?
Yeah,
definitely.
Is that all the questions?
That's it. That's all the questions.
Cool.
So hopefully we'll see everyone next week at Glasgow.
See you there.
Live stream official Strongman.
Live stream, official Strongman. Is there any tickets left?
There's a few tickets left, giantslive.com,
Yeah, so, hopefully see you all there. Obviously, it's building up to be an amazing show, but, Glasgow is always a great turnout, and it's great to see the not-so-young Luke Richardson, not broken as well.
The lion heart.
The lion heart, Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah. But anyway, tune in. Cheers. Thanks for watching.